What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sasquatch Performance Garage. Today we are going to be working on my 1929 Ford Model A two-door sedan, and I do have a car show coming up in my hometown, and I want to get this thing running. I want to bring three of my vehicles to it. I want to bring my Shelby GT350, my Fox body, and this car. And you know, I just wanted to kind of have a nice little showing. Obviously, none of my cars are show cars. You know, they're the Fox body and the Shelby, they're drivers. You know, I built the Fox body to drive or whatever, and I want this thing to be able to drive to that car show. And also, my mom just likes to see it running every once in a while because it was her dad's, and my mom and my dad drove this in their wedding. So I wanted to get this going, take you guys along for the ride, and take you through all of the individual steps that I'm taking to get this thing running. Let's hit it. Alright guys, first thing we're going to do, we're going to take off this hood. Super easy to do. It's got two bolts back here, one on each side of the hood, or each side of the hinge really, and then you just take off this hinge and it pulls right out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and get you guys going on that. Alright, so it uses a flathead screwdriver up here with a square nut down here. We're going to go ahead and grab this square nut, put our screwdriver in here just to hold it. We're actually going to spin the square nut here because that flathead screw is really not a good option. It is pretty worn out. But once we get this square nut loose enough, which it might be now. Here, we start spinning that screw, and that'll be a heck of a lot easier. There we go. And again, same thing on this side. I'm gonna get the screwdriver in the hole there. Oh, this one's a little looser. There we go. Loosey goosey. And guys, as you can tell, I mean, this thing, it sits a lot. I kind of have like a weird deal where I get this thing running for like, I don't know, a couple months, and then it just sits for years. So it's pretty dirty. So once I get this thing running, we're going to take it out of the garage, clean it all up, because I mean, it's just looking kind of gross. So got the hinge taken off. Again, just two screws right there, and the rod of the hood just goes right into the middle there. So I'm gonna put this in my little bolt box so that I don't lose them. And we'll take this hood off and put it to the side. Pull it up and out. And again, all steel, kind of heavy, but not terrible. We're gonna put it down. It worked. So the battery is actually underneath the floorboard here. As you can see, we got our clutch, brake, gas pedal right there, and along with our starter pedal right there. That actually, you touch that down with your foot and it hits a contact onto the starter, makes it turn right over. So as you can see, already got the terminal off. So we're gonna go ahead and start messing with the distributor, taking that out and taking off the carburetor. All right guys, so I'm gonna do some rebuilding on this. I'm going to go ahead, take off the distributor. We're going to rebuild that. I actually put a modern upper plate and a wireless bottom plate on there. Right now I just have a like the old school style stuff there. So I want to kind of replace that so that I can actually get points and condensers from a normal automotive parts store easily. Because it just uses like, say, like a 289 Mustang points and condenser versus a 1929 Model A condenser. We're going to take the carburetor off as well. I've actually had some issues with fuel leaking between the carburetor throttle shaft. As you can see here, it's pretty loosey-goosey. You can hear it. And that's actually the shaft going through there. So it's actually causing a vacuum leak and allowing fuel to seep out of there and causing the issue that I'm having as far as not wanting to start very well. So we're going to pull those off. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take the distributor off first, just because it's on top. So make it easy enough. So we're going to pull the coil wire, take off our little tabs here, or our spring clamps. Ooh, that's hard. Took off our spring clamps to take off the cap of the distributor, and then we're also going to take off the upper body right here. Fun thing about these, use actually brass strips for the spark plug wires. So we're going to take those off. I will most likely be cleaning these up as well, just to make sure we got a good connection on it. There we go. Take that cap off, or the middle body, upper body, whatever you want to call it. And then got a little rotor. Now that we got that taken care of, you can actually pull. This is actually the Spark Advanced or Retard rod here. It's actually hand controlled on the steering wheel. So we're gonna go ahead, push or pull forward on this little guy here, and pull up. There we go. And it just sits on that little rod right there. Then we have down here the distributor lock. It's got a stud with a nut on there to hold it into place. We're going to go ahead and loosen that so that way we can pull this guy out. We're going to get into the cabin here because we do have to take out this wire. That wire is connected directly to the ignition switch, so we'll have to pull off the center console. I guess you can call it center console, I don't know. You're going to pull the console off, undo the wire so that you can pull this out all the way. Here's our console right in the middle here. Normally it's held on by 4 screws, 1 on each side of the gas gauge here, and then 2 on the bottom. Currently mine only has 1, so we're going to take that off. I must have done only 1 to make it easy to get in and out of. I don't know, but got one little guy right here, and truth be told, I don't know where the other screws are. Just pull this forward. Just like that, and it comes right off of the, or I mean, not supposed to as well, but the speedometer and odometer comes right out from the back side of this thing here. The speedometer and odometer is screwed onto this console by 2 square nuts here, and the bolts will come back from behind here and into those square nuts, holds it on just fine and tight. Currently, just so you guys can see it, it has 13772 as the mileage. Now, is that actually 13,772 miles? I have no idea. It could be 1,000 or 113,000. Who knows? But we'll say it's got low mileage. How about that? So, this is our ignition switch here. This is actually where one of those screws that we talked about. It's actually going to be this one right here. So I'm going to get a Phillips head screwdriver to pull that off so that we can pull that wire all the way out. Next thing, we're going to take this distributor out. The lockdown here, the middle of it is a flathead, and then the nut that's on there, it's a stud. The stud in the middle is a flathead, and the nut is actually supposed to be 9/16. You know, it's a 29 Model A. It's all supposed to be standard, right? Well, the 9/16 that I have, or I guess any 9/16, is actually a little bit big for this nut. So I went to my metric. Feels kind of sacrilegious, but a 14 fits on there a lot better than the 9/16. So we're gonna go ahead, put that on there. We're gonna hold the stud in the middle with this flathead and pull up on there. There we go. Now with that loosened, our stud should come right out. There we go. All the way out. And that's our little guy right there. It's got a little tapered head right there that sits right into the shaft of the distributor so that it doesn't move up or down anymore. We should be able to just pull this right up. And obviously it's a little hard, so we're gonna get some little leverage here. There we go. Pop it loose. Pulls. All right, got that taken out. Bada bing, bada boom. So as you can see, the distributor actually is like a 2-piece shaft. There is the shaft still that's inside the distributor hole there. And also there you have a little locating dowel pin right there. The dowel's on the distributor, but on the head you have the female portion for it. So that locates it in the proper position, so that way all you gotta do is just make sure that the timing is done right and you're good to go. So Next thing, we're gonna go ahead and take the carburetor off to get that, start rebuilding that as well. All right, here's our distributor. We do have a Zenith distributor on this Model A. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take off this throttle rod here. It is like a little quick connect as well. Just pull forward on this and it'll pop off the ball stud. Then we do have to take apart the choke rod here, and we'll take off the fuel line. Once that's done, we'll have 1/2-inch bolts here and here. And once I'll take that off, and the whole thing will come right on down. So we get that taken off and start working on the bench. Go ahead and take that off, pull forward. That will fall right down. Then there's this little sleeve right here. You're gonna pull that up and move it out of the way. I'm gonna take the sleeve off because that will just come right down. And then that choke rod, we'll put it right up in there. Okay. So 1/2-inch on this fitting here. There we go. Coming right out. There we go. Now we got that done. I'm gonna go start unloosening these bolts here. All right, now that's off. Our little carburetor, all ready to go. So we're gonna pull it apart and get this little guy rebuilt. All right, now here we got our Zenith carburetor along with our factory distributor. Got those put on the bench. Let's go ahead and take these apart and get those rebuilt. Got the distributor put in. I have not locked it down yet, but we are going to time it first. And the way that we time it, we're going to take out this bolt right here. It's in the timing cover. This little nubbin, this little nipple right here, will actually go backwards into the timing cover, and then you'll spin the motor over by hand, and then whenever you feel the nipple go deeper, that means it's in a detent, and that's where we time it at. Pretty much top dead center when that nipple goes down into that detent. From there, we then go up to the distributor. We mess with the cam here to where it'll fire off on cylinder number 1 on top dead center. I'll go ahead and give you guys a bird's eye view of it, and I'll walk you through it. All right, so first thing, the little nubbin over here is the 9/16. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen it up. And that's it right here. So our little nubbin. We then turn it in backwards into there. All right, so we're gonna put pressure on the nubbin here with our finger, and then we're gonna start turning the crankshaft by hand with the little hand crank. Oh, that was it right there. Damn it. Just missed it. So we're gonna have to go all the way around again. So our nubbin is into the detent on the camshaft gear here at the top, or on the front of the timing cover. So now we're gonna work on our cam placement for our points, and that will get us at top dead center. When timing this, we're gonna put the distributor body back on so that we can match up cylinder number 1 here. This is where cylinder number 1's at, that prong that's poking out right there. It goes right to there, boom. All right, so now we got it to where if the cam on the distributor moves just a little bit more clockwise, the points automatically open up, and that is exactly where we want to have it timed for when we are on top dead center. So since we got that done, we're gonna go ahead, take our nubbin over here and put it back in and tighten it up. Go ahead and put our distributor body back on. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and tighten down our spark plug straps. Yeah, all right, that one. Next one, so 2. So 3. So 4. So we got the straps on to our distributor here. Go ahead and get our coil wire. Put her on. Now, ignition system is ready to go. Now we'll put on the carburetor. All right, so carburetor's going in underneath the intake manifold. Got 1 bolt on. Get our other one put in there. Get it started. All right, we got them hand tight, so now I'll get our half-inch wrench. Get her tightened up. Let's connect our choke shaft right here. So we're gonna put our sleeve back up on the top. Made it up, pulled it down. Now for our throttle rod. There we go. All right, now last bit of the puzzle, put our fuel line back on. Fuel line is an inverted flare, so it seals up on its own. No need for any thread sealer or Teflon tape. All right, so last little bit I gotta do is I'm gonna put all the electrical back together inside the cabin, and we will be ready to turn it on. All right guys, so got the fuel turned on now. Just checking to see if I have any leaks, and once I feel confident in that, we will go ahead and turn her over and see what happens. Well, as you can see, got the Model A running. Just rebuilt the distributor and the carburetor. It does seem like there is a little bit of timing issue. I do believe that's actually because I do have some shaft play in the distributor between the main distributor shaft that's part of the distributor and also the shaft that is inside the engine. But other than that, y'all, it's running. It's ready to go. Just, clean up a little bit here and there, but feels good. Get it running again, It's just the amount of memories that we have with this vehicle and the history that it has with my family. It's just so awesome to get this thing running again. Again, a lot more videos coming with this thing as well. We're going to be taking it to the car show coming up here in a couple of months, or a month and a half, actually. Shoot, it's actually like a month and a week. Little things here and there that we're going to do to it, get it kind of back to even better. I probably will be rebuilding the whole distributor again as far as the actual shaft plate. I have brand new shafts that I found from, I guess, 2 or 3 times ago that I rebuilt it that I never put in. I guess I knew it was a problem back then and I forgot it. And now here it is. And it's ready to go, guys. So I appreciate you guys watching. Please consider subscribing. And again, I'll see you guys next time.